And we're back playing musical windows. Are you just, no, not at all. I think it's fucking
I
great.
literally I
I think this
opened
is
it and
awesome.
I sat there and looked at the join button for like 15 seconds, like waiting for it to do something.
Okay, so correlated guns. Have you run one before or no?
No, I've never ran one.
Okay,
And
cool.
that's I even asked the dude at the supply yard, like the place I get my board through. I was like, "Do you guys carry collated screws?" He like gave me a weird look. He's like, "No, nobody around here uses this." I'm like, "What are you talking about? Like everybody online is using these."
Yeah. So when I'm using it, I do just the perimeter. If it's like really long, like
Yeah.
a 12, I'll do the center. Like you know what I mean, your closest stud or whatever. And then I'll do my chalk lines, the whole thing, and then just give her in a room. And I did a 15 by 15 ceiling, all the inside in like 40 seconds or something like that. So
Nice.
you get it all up and you tack it all in, and then you come back and just clip, 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 and just kill the whole wall. That's, if I were to give you any advice, that would be the advice.
Now, do those clips, do you reload them? Or are they just like one time done, throw them away?
Oh,
I think you just throw them away, don't you?
yeah. I wouldn't reload them anyways. Like at least the Hilti ones, they, when the screw comes through that little holder, the little holder's still there, but it's got like this fuzzy shit on it.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I don't know. I feel like for how quickly you're doing it, it kind of pays for itself. It's a little wasteful, I guess, environmentally or whatever, but
Yeah.
that's what it is. Um, yeah, get the longest clips you can too. If there's like Hilti's got a short one and a long one. Yeah, they're sick, man. I'm super
Yeah,
excited for you.
yeah, I'm excited to get it and not have paint on it and be able to use it. I didn't even get to like see it. My mom called me and she's like, the UPS guy just showed up with your package and it's got like paint dripping out of it. He's gonna open it in front of me. I'm like, it's fine, you know. She's like, there better not be like a blow up doll in there or anything. I'm like, Mom, there's not. That's in the other package.
Yeah.
That's funny.
That's amazing. Yeah, so that's dope, man. Are you gonna find your own borders then? Or are you just gonna do it till it's not fun?
Eventually,
Or?
I'm gonna hang for a little while, get a taste of it.
Yeah.
I'd like to hire eventually, but at the same time, I'm not ready to hire just anybody, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not desperate for workers. I mean, people are calling me, I'm telling them I'm booked out till May and they're waiting, you know.
That's
That's good.
So that's a good thing.
We're starting to see work slowly drop off around here. We kind of knew it was coming, but we hadn't seen it yet.
Mm-hmm.
It's starting to happen. The phone's not ringing like it was.
Mm-hmm.
But we same thing. We've got quite a bit booked out for the next few months, but after that, it's kind of spotty.
so
See,
do
I'm
you
picking up a lot more like remodel work doing it on my
Yeah,
own. Like before working for the other company, he was just strictly new builds.
yeah, yeah. I think you'll probably start to see a lot more of that too, with the way the interest rates are and stuff. I think people will
Mm-hmm.
start just putting money back into their own current homes.
Yeah.
But that's cool because I've been working with that Fresco Harmony, and it's a huge sell on, going into people's houses. I mean,
Yeah,
it's awesome. Like I've got 3 jobs lined up with it already.
that's
what
awesome.
what kind of square footage are you doing?
So did you guys see the Cam's Ice Cold Ice?
Yes.
Yeah,
So I did this job. I bid it like would have been like last fall, and it was an awful job. This guy's turning this old house into like an Airbnb. And when I met the contractor, she said, I advise this guy to just burn the house down. Like the foundation was cracked. We have to lift the house up, fix the basement. And like when you went upstairs, like there was nothing straight about it. So I bid the job, didn't hear about it for a month, didn't expect to get it because of the bid I gave them. And they said they wanted me to do the job. So I went back, did it, hung the drywall. It looked awful. I mean, it looked good, but just you could, I mean, it was like the barn style roof upstairs, the pitched, level line.
yeah.
And it just looked like a snake the whole way down. I mean, it was what it was. I told you, you can, it's like putting lipstick on a pig.
Yeah,
You can only board it as good as it can be boarded, right? Unless you're going to start reframing shit, it kind of is what it is.
Yeah.
So anyway, I did that job. The guy painted it with this color called Ice Cube. and
Okay.
I sent Ice Cube out to Nick, and he color matched it and named it Cam's Ice Cold
Oh,
Ice. So now I'm
That's
going
awesome.
back and redoing the downstairs of that place with fresco.
That's cool.
the whole
It's-
thing?
Yeah, it's gonna be Cam's Ice Cold Ice. I think it's like 8 bottles of fresco.
That's
No shit.
sick.
I'm
That
going out there
is sick.
tomorrow to start that.
That is cool. That's
Yeah,
such a cool product.
yeah, that job's gonna have a lot more meaning to it, you know.
Oh,
Yeah.
totally, totally. That'll be your first big project with it, right? Other than Albuquerque?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've done a few walls around here with it, just accent walls, but nothing major like a whole floor like that.
Yeah. 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 That's fucking wicked, dude.
And it's covering like old plaster. Like I'm talking, this house was probably built like I'd say late 1800s. It's like
Wow.
the walls are like concrete, like
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
peeling off, like they're bad. But it'll be dolled up when I'm done with it.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So are you just gonna dump it on? Like
Yeah.
what? Yeah.
Yeah, there's a
good.
few spots
Yeah.
I'm gonna hit with my Durabond before I hit with fresco.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
for the most part, I'm just gonna cover it with fresco.
That's sick.
That is
Yeah.
sick.
Yeah, I'll take. I'm planning on taking videos of it and putting a clip together for it, so it'll be cool.
Yes,
Yeah.
please. Yeah.
Yeah.
How are these other walls going? Like you said you did a couple like single
Yeah, I've
walls?
been. So my mom's house is a double wide trailer, and it's got like little wood trim strips up
Yeah.
along all the seams.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So I took those off, coated them with fiber fuse, didn't even like float them out, just put fresco over the wall, 2 coats, and dude, the walls are looking fucking beautiful there. Like
No shit.
That's sick, bro.
That is sick.
yeah, and like I've just been doing it like one wall at a time, like on the weekends, like knocking it out for spending a
Yeah.
little time with, been
I
enjoying
want
it.
to just, I want to buy some and just use it at my house and just try it out.
Dude, you should. That's how I got into it. I did this wall behind my computer here,
Yeah.
and that TikTok video went viral.
Oh shit, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta try that.
On the 24th, Nick's coming to CSR. So I'm gonna go
nice.
out. I'm gonna go out there for the teach out, and then the wall behind me. That's exactly what it's gonna be.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
How
it's
about
gonna
he
be-
bought a booth out there at the Build 23 show?
Bro.
And he called me. I don't even know if I'm allowed to drop this yet, but I don't know when you're gonna
He
release
said it on my podcast. It's gonna come out before this. So
He invited me out there. I'm gonna be hanging out at the Fresco booth for the Build 23 show, so that'll be cool.
He was saying that you guys are just gonna be wearing those fucking baseball shirts and just kicking it.
Yeah,
And
right.
yeah, that's gonna be sick. Yeah, I guess in that little area is like Can-Am and Columbia. There's a bunch of recognizable people. So you'll be in your element, right? That's
That's
gonna be
right.
fucking sick, man.
Oh, no, I'm excited for it.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
And then is it Jack? Who's the guy that works for Nick?
Jack works for Nick, but I think that Chad Hesser is coming out with him.
Right.
Illinois, maybe. I could be
Okay.
wrong.
Is he just another guy like you guys, or
Yeah, he's just another dude that I think he sells a bunch of fresco.
that's mint? Yeah. Very cool, man. One of these fucking crazy sites coming up for you, Josh. You remember the last time we talked, you had closed like a big.
Oh yeah. Yeah, still kind of waiting on the start for that. It was supposed to start at the end of January. It was supposed to be ready for
Right.
hanging, so we're that was still the plan, just waiting to hear, and then kind of hoping it kind of holds off a little bit, because
Mhm.
we've got a few houses we're trying to get through, but yeah, it's like 6,000 sheets, so we're gonna go 1,000 at a time.
Yeah.
Have the hangers get ahead of us, and then just kind of chase them, and then just it's in phases. So we'll start on the top floor and work down, basically. So, but we're kind of, if that one works out, that'll take us through the half the year right there, and then we can kind of work around that. But kind of hoping it drags a little bit right now. So we're just in a hole. Everybody was waiting for material at the end of the year, and then they all got it at once.
Well,
And
and
then it just,
typically
stacked up.
those things drag, man. Yeah, and you've got a bunch of trades building a building, and then you're the
Yeah.
last of it, right? And so they've got to
Right,
all get
yeah.
through their deficiencies and all this
Yeah.
other shit before you start. So
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I'm sure there'll be a push initially, probably to get the first building done. It's 2 buildings, and I'm sure they'll probably try to push through at least get it going and then get a crew in upstairs, start painting and getting it finished as, we work down through like they always do. But it's quite a drive for me because I have to like drive 25 miles in the opposite direction from my house to drop my daughter off and then beeline it down the highway to get there. So it's probably like 3 hours of driving a day for me at least if the traffic's clear. So because it's the main highway that goes to Mount Desert Island and it's like spring through summer, it is just a madhouse. Everybody's trying to get down there. All the out of staters are trying to get to MDI. There's like celebrities that live down there. Everybody wants to go down there. And that highway gets congested. People die on it every year. I mean, it's insane. And driving, it's not the funnest thing every day.
No. That's the amount of driving I do, bud.
Yeah.
Anywhere between 2 and 3 hours. It's fucking brutal.
I mean, we do it once in a while too. Like the one I'm working on right now is about an hour and 20 from my house, but it's like half of it's highway, half of it's back road, so it's not that bad. The crazy traffic just sucks. It gets monotonous going down there. I've been down there a bunch working. It just always sucks. You get caught in the wrong time, you're screwed. You're gonna sit in traffic for 2 hours. Just sitting. Like you might make it a few miles. It's awful, but
it's awful. Yeah.
I take it.
Yeah, I've got about an hour drive any job that I go to. Anything over an hour, I start to get. I mean, now that I'm bidding jobs, I'm not even going anything over an hour. But back when I was subbing, dude, I would work sometimes 2.5 hours from the house.
Yeah,
drive that every day. No, it's not worth it, especially when you're making the same money that you're making on a house that's 30 minutes from your house.
Right. That's like our mentality.
Yeah.
Yeah, that first year, man, I drove to Barrie for a fucking deck job. I would drive 2 days and then stay in a hotel on the third and then drive 2 days and stay on, you know what I mean? Just to try and get a little extra time. But it was fucking nuts. It was good, like when you needed to work or whatever, but like after that project, I'm like, we are not fucking driving this much again. I think that's 2 hours, 2 hours and change each way. So it was fucking brutal. It was brutal.
Yeah, that'll kill you. That's the hard thing too. If you got a 2 hour drive in after that 2 hour ride, you're not really pumped up to work.
No.
You're like really comfortable and now you gotta get out, stretch, unload your tools. It just sucks.
Yeah, and then not falling asleep on the way home is challenging.
Not to mention staying awake on the ride home.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you just get wound up on caffeine so you can't sleep for fuck when you get home. That's the circle of life. So are you going to be as aggressive then with that extra drive, or are you just going to kind of make realistic goals and hit them? And
no, just like we always do, just go in with a set goal for the week. Usually it was something that big, we don't usually do big jobs like that, but it's manageable because it's just apartments and they're like, I think they're like 95 sheets a unit. They're super small, but they have like 4 wrapped windows in each one. But I think there's like 6 sticks of bead in each one. They're a little cut up because they're small. They're trying to make use of the small space. But once you do a couple of them, you get a good little system rolling, and then you can kind of pound through them. Once you do those jobs where a bunch of units that are all the same. Once you get through 1 or 2, you're like, oh yeah, all right, these are cake. You just fly through them.
Yeah, you get into a flow.
Exactly. You know exactly what has to be prepped when you walk in. You're like, all right, the hanger always sucks in this spot, so just check that out. And and that was kind of our plan because everything, again, all the windows are wrapped. So, and my uncle and I work together. So we're like, we'll go through and we'll just tape for like 3 days. Get as much tape on as we can. Maybe get the whole 1,000 taped out if we're lucky. I doubt it in 3 days, but. And then he's like, you just start coding and I'll start doing windows. And that will be like the flow of it because the windows just eat up so much time. Once the bead's on and they're coated, it's not bad, but just getting the bead on them and getting that first coat is usually the real work.
Yeah.
But we're just, get in there and put your feet down on the ground and just rip.
Now, Josh, are you guys boxing bead?
Yeah, on stuff like that, depending on the size of the window, we might not, because sometimes it's like, it seems like more work. Depending on the situation, but I always box my second coat on my stand-ups just to get that good fill, and then I hand skim it. First coat's easy sand, and then I'll box it with the 10, and then I just like the second coat because it gives it a nice, it's real full and just flat, and they skim out so nice, and the trim guys like it.
But
definitely. It took a while to even get confident enough with the boxes to try boxing the bead. And
Oh, for
then,
sure. Like
you
you've got
know,
it takes practice.
yeah, and it's like it's pulling that thing straight down and not, those little movements. You can come off, start squirting mud all over the place. You're just
Yeah,
making a
not
mess.
catching the paper and tearing
Yeah,
the
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. We use just vinyl. I want to try paper bead. I've never used it. I've always just used metal or regular vinyl.
Huh.
But I just put a set of those. I told you, Sean, that those bead guides that North Star
Yeah.
made. I
Yeah.
threw those on my 10, and those are sweet. Those make boxing bead a lot easier.
These
Yeah, I
are all the
bought those.
reasons I've not done it yet.
It's
Well,
worth the
got
50
the
bucks.
bead wheels on their box.
Yeah. Well, I have the bead wheels, but then the little flip down guides
Yeah.
that North Star made for
Oh
the
yeah, now
blade
I know.
side.
Yeah,
Yeah,
now
they're
I know
real.
what
I
you're
didn't
talking
know
about.
they were like universal for most boxes. I just was looking at them one day and it's like, oh, if it's other brand Colombian tape tag level 5, I'm like, oh shit. So I bought a set, threw them on. Yeah, they're the cat's ass. They work
Wow, I'm gonna have
great.
to check that out.
The
Does
only
it-
downside is that there is more hardware because it replaces the 2 screws that hold the shoe on, and it like
Mhm.
replaces them with a screw that has a screw head on top of that to hold the guide. So every time you replace your shoes, you have to take off a lot more hardware, which can
Yeah.
be kind of a pain. But I mean, how often do you have to replace your shoes? Every few months. It's not that bad. So
Yeah.
but totally worth the $55. Highly recommend it,
Really?
especially if you're boxing a lot of bead.
And
Mhm.
does it keep it nice and straight for you? Like
Oh hell yeah.
It does.
Yeah,
Eh?
yeah. It only hangs down like an 1/8 inch at most, but it's
Mhm.
just enough to just lock. The wheel hooks on the bottom and that guide hooks on the top. You just, yeah, give her
That's
some.
wicked.
Highly recommend it, especially if you got a lot. Man, it's so much faster to just blow
Wow.
through your second coat. It's so much faster.
No,
Oh, totally.
I box all of mine, but I've just gotten to where I figured it out. I've practiced
Yeah,
it a
yeah,
lot. Like, trust
yeah.
me, I ripped a shitload of bead and hand coat it and fix it before I
Yeah.
got good at boxing bead. But now I'm pretty good now to where I get like a little bit of rollover
Yeah.
and I can just clean it up with a knife,
Yeah, I have a hard time pulling up the bottoms without leaving like a lot of mud or like a big lap
You
mark.
got, have you tried wizard handle?
I have one actually, and
That's
I
the
always
key.
say I'm gonna just use that for the bead, and then I don't. I just leave my extension handle on
See,
there.
that's how I learned to box speed, just because I could control it so easy with the wizard handle.
Yeah,
Then I upgraded to boxing my stand-ups from the floor.
yeah. What I
But
just started doing was just pulling as high up, well, just from the top, pulling straight down to where I can't go any further, and just that little 6-inch spot. I'll just let it dry and then come through and hit it with a knife if I'm
Yeah.
feeling lazy. I don't know. I always try different ways. Some ways don't work as well, but you just gotta try it.
Yeah, I don't ever run it from the bottom up. I'm not fucking comfortable doing it. So when I come back to kind of clean everything up with my whatever knife I'm using to do that, I fucking hit all the bottoms.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, yeah.
As
For doing
tall
like
as you are, I'd think that you'd really enjoy doing the bottom, Sean.
I know, right? If you just lay your fat ass down on the floor. Yeah.
No, just reach the ceiling.
Yeah.
Get one of those creepers that the mechanic uses and just roll around with it.
You know what? I fucking thought about that. And I'm like, this is how we never stay in shape at all. So does anybody use the new Fast Edge that comes in that big roll?
No, I'm curious.
Yeah, me
Did
too.
anybody request the sample pack?
Not yet.
Yeah, me either.
Is that the Trimtex stuff?
Mhm.
Yeah, like the no coat style.
But it comes in a big fucking roll now instead of just the sticks.
That's
Yeah.
That'd be super handy.
I'd like to try that.
Yeah, I'm curious of it.
I wanted to try that magic corner too, but nobody around here carries it, so they have to,
The three-way.
Oh, I haven't tried that either.
Oh, what's the magic corner?
The magic corner, it's Trimtex makes it. Comes in a roll. It's like basically it looks like kind of an expansion joint, but for your 45s or whatever you would use no coat for.
Yeah.
But it's like vinyl. It coats like tearaway. You put it on, you glue it, staple it, and you put your bed coat with.
I've heard of it, but I've never seen it.
Yeah,
Oh,
I've never seen it
shit.
around my area. I've always wanted to try it, but never had a chance to.
I just switched. I was working with a paper-faced metal bead.
Yeah.
And I'm now using paper-faced like vinyl. It's kind of like level line or no coat, but it's comes in sticks.
Yeah.
And
Um,
it's
I
got
like
like
it.
an inch of something in it, kind of like it's
Yeah,
like a
it's like I
cardboard
said,
or
it's like
plastic.
vinyl, yeah, or cardboard, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know what it is exactly, but it's pretty good stuff. Now, I did use it on like a long stretch, kind of like a tray, and it had bad framing in it, and it
Mhm.
followed it because
Oh, really?
I used a roller, and it just
Oh,
pressed it
yeah.
right into the framing. So I ripped it off, ended up putting paper face metal on it, and it came out a lot better.
Oh,
But for
nice.
my stand-ups, I really like that. You know, it boxes really well, it coats
Yeah.
really good.
I've used lately on a couple of rough framing ones, we've used that Trimtex jumbo bead, and
Yeah.
that
Mhm.
will definitely straighten out some shit, but man, does it take a lot of mud to fill it in.
Oh, I bet it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Deep. It is so deep. But man, I mean, that's gonna be the most user-friendly corner bead I've ever tried. I mean, hit it with glue and just it like sets itself. It's amazing.
Huh.
It's just got such a wide flange on it, and you just give it a little pop, and it just kind of like hops in place and check it with a straight edge. But it's usually dead nut when you pop it on there.
No
But it
shit.
takes so much mud to fill it. Way more than a regular bead, it seems. Maybe it's just me, but man, I feel like I just chew through easy sand on my first coat when I'm putting those on.
So does it have that little point on the end of it? Is that what makes it so deep?
It's just the flange itself is wider.
Okay.
So, and it's like the profile that on the end is probably a little taller, if I had to guess. I've never actually measured it. I know physically it's just, your standard corner bead's like, I don't know, an inch and a half. Maybe this stuff's like 2.25.
Yeah, okay.
I've never actually measured it, but it's quite a bit wider. But it's like sometimes, framing just doesn't work right, or the hangers, their boards are, back, and a regular corner bead won't cover it. You just stick that jumbo over it. Works great.
No
And
shit.
most of the guys around here that carry trim tags always have the jumbo. So
Yeah.
that's why we always just use that or metal. We try to not use metal only because I don't like it for repair reasons. It's you ding it once, you're fucked. I mean, you can try and you can straighten it out, but it's so much more work. The vinyl just pops a little piece of mud out and you just fill it in, keep going.
Yeah, it bounces. It doesn't fucking.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, that's my top two reasons why it's got to be left in the past, man. Your fucking hands are all cut to
Oh
shit at
God,
the end of a
yeah.
day,
Yeah.
with those little thorns, and then
Well, God forbid you slip
you
and
can't
run it
fucking
across your
dent them.
palm.
Yeah. Oh yeah, my hands are riddled in little like tiny like kitten scratches, but at the
Yeah.
end of the day, it doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
Go for hot wings, you know all about it. Yeah, I wanted to ask about that because I think that's going to be really cool. I kind of prefer that in a big roll. Just, it feels very wasteful when I'm just buying
Yeah.
sticks and, I got a whole garbage fucking bin of ends.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously. I'd like to try that.
Yeah, you can send away for your free package that it sounds like nobody's doing.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's fucking marketing or what.
There's a link in their bio if you want a free sample. I almost had the ambition to fill it out, but I didn't the other night.
I had that moment where I was
Maybe.
like, "Oh, I'm gonna fucking do that for sure," and then this
do
is the next time I've thought about it.
Yeah. Maybe I'll do it after this.
Yeah, there you go.
Mental note.
Whose packouts were that today on your story? Are you fucking using packouts to carry your tools around?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my shit. Yeah. Yeah, it's all covered in mud.
That's all right.
Just destroyed.
Did
I
you
like it because it's I had tried so many different things to hold my tools aside from buying a trailer or a van. I just have my pickup. So, and before that, I just had like a beater car or another truck. But they lock together really tight. Like when they're together, they don't move. Like the DeWalt shit, like it's like loose when you lock them together. I didn't really like that. And they're airtight, which some of the other ones are too, but I don't know. They just seem the sturdiest, and they offer so many different attachments and shit. So I just bought the kit. That's what I was saying before. At the end of the day, you're done boxing. You don't want to clean it off. Take the box off the pole, stick it in that box, and shut it, and it's not drying out. I've left them in there for while I went on vacation in a week and a half.
Okay.
They're fine. Same with the bazooka. That thing sat in the back seat of my truck for a week. Like it was 8 or 9 days.
In a bag?
No bag on it. No bag. It was rock hard when I got home. So I stuck it in a bucket of hot water, and 45 minutes later, the hose took care of it.
I was
Yep.
shocked how well it took that when I did that on Predator Month. I went away, same thing on vacation, came back, it was fucked. I put it in the bucket and then just like sprayed it off
Yeah.
with the hose. I was like, okay.
Yeah, if you keep them greased up, the mud comes right off them.
Yeah.
You know, that's the big thing. My uncle is, since we started with the tools, he taped the first job, the very first one, could not get it figured out, and mainly because we had nobody to show us,
Yeah.
and then had no idea how thin the mud needed to be. So we were way fucking off on how much water we needed in the mud. Like it was like box mud. We were trying to run through the bazooka at that point, or maybe not even that thin. And it was horrible. We struggled through it. We got it done. And then from that day on, I ran the bazooka. And that's just how it ended up going. Not because we chose to do it, just how it happened. And that was 3 years ago. Now he's like, all right, I need to fucking learn how to use this thing. So we have 2 of them now.
Nice.
And I was like, just take the carbon fiber one. It's lighter, it's easier to run. It'll just run better for you. And he's taped his last 3 houses with it. Slow,
Nice.
but he's doing it and he's getting better on every job. So he's pretty pumped. So, but that's helping now because now we don't have to be together to tape. We can
Yeah.
split up, bang them out. One guy finishes up, then we'll go help the other guy, or you get a half day, run over to the other one, help him. But it's just we're getting more work done now because I don't have to be with him all the time, or vice versa. But
It's cool to me that your uncle wants to learn it.
yeah,
When
dude, he fought it hard.
Yeah, right.
He did, dude. He's 50. How old is he? 56, 55, 56.
That's a hard tool for a 56-year-old dude to
Fuck
learn.
yeah,
Like,
man.
I mean, he's got to be fit if he's been doing drywall his whole life. But
No. I mean,
well, not fit, but drywall fit. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
drywall fit. Yeah, like yeah.
Like, you got drywall muscles. You might not
Functional.
Look like it,
Yeah. He's been drywalling since he was 17. He started out mixing mud by hand and spotting screws for some contractor. That was back when he said he literally had wooden stilts.
Oh, you were
Just
saying that.
homemade wooden stilts. Said they'd kill your feet and knees by the end of the day. But yeah, when I started with him, we were hand finishing, hawk and trowel, dry taping everything. Yeah, and I had just mentioned because the guy I worked for, the first contractor I had ever worked for, had showed me level 5, and I was like, I didn't really have much interest in drywall at that time, but I was like, damn, that's cool because we were doing drywall. I'm like, you ought to get some of that. And he's like, you know how much money those things are? We do like 15 sheets at a time. We're not buying that shit. And I'm like, I don't know. You showed me. So why'd you show me?
Yeah.
But I just remembered it. And then when I started getting into drywall and I worked with my uncle, I'm like, hey, have you seen these flat boxes? And he's like, oh, those things are junk, whatever. And but then he'd be watching the videos on lunch break. I'm like, oh, what are you watching? And then slowly just, egged him on. He's like, all right, fuck it, let's get a kit. And we just happened to we just went with Tape Tech on a whim, had no idea what we were getting, and it ended up being great. Pretty happy with them. Aside from their screws, I have every goddamn screw on these things has backed out at some point, even with Loctite. I don't get
No
it.
shit.
I mean, literally Loctite it, let it dry, and it will still back out. I don't know if it's me, if I'm just like working them too hard or something, but I just have horrible luck with screws.
You know what happened? Fucking now that we're talking about screws, this screw in my angle head,
Oh yeah.
right? And then that slid down and these two fucking kind of, you know what I mean? So I got through a whole room going, what the fuck is going on? And so I went and I took it over and I cleaned it all off. Like, so thank God I took this thing apart and put it back together when they gave it to me.
Yeah.
Because I would have been so fucking lost as to what was going on.
Oh God. I've never rebuilt one.
Oh, they're super easy. That centerpiece is
never had luck rebuilding one. I've rebuilt several. And
Yeah.
to take the time to adjust the angle head and get those blades right is so. It costs you a day of doing angles to fully adjust.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's what
I
my uncle
did
said.
not take the blades out.
Like,
I didn't do that.
Oh really?
Like anymore, if I wear out an angle head, I just buy a new one. Like
Yeah.
I've got a rebuild kit.
Yeah.
But it's just more efficient for me to buy a new one because they last so long.
Yeah. How long do you get out of one normally?
It depends on if I drop it on the garage floor. How soon am I going to drop it on concrete?
Right. Well, we've had. Well, I'll let you. Yeah, I'll let you go.
No, I'd say I get a solid. I mean, last year I was running 40 to 50 houses a year,
Yep.
and I'd easily get a year out of an angle head, you know.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty good
Yeah,
then.
that's a lot of work.
But are you
Hey.
breaking it or is it dulling?
Eventually the cone, like that piece that was coming off of yours there,
Yeah, yeah,
it
yeah.
will split in two, like it'll crack.
That's what
Okay.
just
Like,
happened to
like,
ours.
yeah.
We had to fix that, and
Yeah.
I had no idea. My uncle even did. He's like, "Oh yeah, I took that home and replaced it. I had one of those nose cones." I'm like, "Oh really?" He's like, "Yeah, what a bitch that was."
It is. Like, I don't know, man. It seems like you never get them back right.
Yeah,
Not good
he
with
did a
it.
good job with it. It's our 3.5 because I've been taping with those sharp flushers that Wolfgang sent me,
Yeah, I'm curious
and
for those.
they're really nice. But I've already worn out that 3-inch. It's not. It's lost its shape already. It's leaving edges.
How long have you had it?
He sent it to me in September,
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
August maybe. I've done. Wow, I couldn't tell
That's
you
a
probably
shitload of board feet though.
a lot of board feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was just curious because I'm looking. It's not warped or anything, but and it still has a nice sharp edge on it. And so today, actually, I grabbed the standard 3-inch that he sent me and just tried it night and day. I mean, there's
Wow.
nice feather, tight feather, and that sharp flusher was originally, but I guess that's just the thing with them. I guess I that's what everybody's told me is they
They
work
don't last
great when they're
forever.
brand new, but they won't hold up on the long term. But it's only $130, so
Yeah.
price wise, it's not that bad. But you could just spend the 300 something and get an angle head and get a year and a half. Well, we've gotten 3 years out of ours with one adjustment. That's all we've ever done on our 2.5. We've done one blade adjustment, and we just had to rebuild that 3.5. So
Yeah, my 2.5, my tape angle head, because I tape with a 2.5 and then skim with a 3.5.
yeah.
But I can't tell you how much board is coated. Same
Oh
thing with
god.
the roller. Like I thought
Yeah.
that at the point my bearings would roll out in it.
Yeah.
Dude, that thing's rolled so much tape. Like it's ridiculous.
Oh, those things will just take a beating.
They will.
It's insane. Those blades, I'm always worried about hitting a screw. Those blades will take a hit so
Really?
hard. I mean, I have smashed screws and so bad where it just stops, and for a
Ooh.
quick second, like it locks up and then hops
Yeah, I
off the
usually
wall.
catch that with the roller.
Yeah, well, yeah, we do too, but sometimes
Click.
it's just like that, just enough beyond it that you don't see it. And
Yeah.
it's so loud, like one of us be in the other room and you hear it and you're like, ooh, it's like that $150 mistake you just made.
Like watching someone else get kicked in the nuts. You fucking feel that. Yeah.
Oh, but I don't know. Yeah, I actually think I'm gonna order another one of those 3-inch flushers because I really liked it. I
Yeah.
love how well it just covers the tape on tape coat.
Okay.
I
So
mean, it's gone.
they've got Can-Am's, like what you would consider their angle head, like that applies the mud while you do it. It's just a flusher, right? Am I seeing that correctly?
I
That
don't know. I'm just using just the flusher itself that you're talking about, the gold core.
Yeah, there's like a flusher with a hole in it, and then I think that I've seen it on a throttle box.
I feel like they've
I've
got
seen the
flusher.
flushers like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I have a set of Tape Tech flushers that I've never used that have that. You
I-
hook them to a tube.
I'd be
Or you
super
can hook it to an
interested to
angle
see how
box.
that works. Yeah.
I should try them, honestly. I've got them. I've just never used them.
Well, God
ever.
forbid, don't do some content. Okay.
I'm too busy working. God.
That's been me
Someday.
lately too.
Fucking clean work. Never get to see it. I love it.
I don't know. I don't even know what to do because I'm not like, hey, watch me.
Yeah.
You want to see me do spot some screws or something?
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know. I don't know. I just set the camera up once. I probably have thousands of videos on my phone that I just like set it up, took it, and then put it back in my pocket.
Yeah, that's mint though. That's all you need.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we are at 4 minutes. Why don't we give that a wrap and then I'll send you guys a new invite.
All right.
All right.